Hi everyone, Frank Sasso here, President of History with God Ministries. Just wanted to take a minute to thank you so much for the support that you've shown us at the Who's Your Daddy Godcast Network. As you know, right now, we are now podcasting every single day of the week. Not with the same show, not with Who's Your Daddy, with a different show every day. Here's the breakdown. So on Sundays, we have the Who's Your Daddy Godcast. That's the one that you're used to. That's the one with Christina and I do the Q&A every month, where Keith and I sometimes do like a game show kind of thing, like Bible or Bull or Tipping Sacred Cows, as well as our own individual podcast that we do on Who's Your Daddy, where we teach and preach and exalt, share testimonies from people, things like that. On Mondays now, a new show post, and it's the Family Life Christian Fellowship show called Become a Light Today. That's a church pastored by Larry and Yvonne Clark in Glassboro, New Jersey. So it's the sermon from Sunday. It posts on Monday. On Tuesdays is a good friend of ours, Andy Anastasopoulos. He is a Hellenic historian who preaches, but he also teaches history from a biblical point of view. Very, very cool. Very cool. So if you're into history, that's a show you're definitely going to want to check out. On Wednesdays is Terrence Clark, Voice of One. The Voice of One podcast on Wednesdays with Terrence Clark is a hit. People love it. He is a preacher. He is a teacher, and you're going to love him. That's Terrence Clark on Wednesdays with the Voice of One podcast. On Thursdays, another good friend, Shane Pittman. Shane Pittman's coming at you with the Secret Refuge podcast, and that is coming from the point of view of a former paranormal investigator. This guy was like a Ghostbuster, and he had an encounter with God that will blow your mind. Really, really cool. He's every Thursday. And he's from Midland, Georgia, so he has a little southern twang going on, you know? On Fridays is Lavinia Johnson. Whoa, listen to her roar, because that show is NMA, Empowering God's Beloveds. It's focused mostly on for women, but, you know, anybody can listen to it. And you're going to really be encouraged by that. Women, hear me, NMA. What does NMA mean? You got to tune in to find out. On Saturdays, it's more for the kids. It's called Bella and Me. Bella and Me is about a guy who has a talking dog who thinks she's from New Orleans. For some reason, she's really not. She's from Philadelphia. But don't tell Bella that, because she'll freak out on you. And that show kind of centers around Bella finding herself in some sticky moral situations here and there. And Daddy-O, her daddy, me, has to then talk her through the situation using the word. So it's a great lesson podcast for kids. I think they're really going to love it. And then we're back on Sundays again with Who's Your Daddy. So you can subscribe to any of these podcasts individually, or you can go to the site every day and listen to the show right on the site. We would recommend subscribing to the show. Subscribe to the RSS feed. You could do it either on iTunes, which is actually now called Apple Podcasts, but you could do it there. You could do it on any of the podcast directories. We are still in the process of podcast distribution, so some of them are already up on iTunes and all your favorite directories like Stitcher and Blueberry and Player FM. If you don't see directories for the ones that you're listening to, just be patient. They're coming. Sometimes they take a little longer than others, but they are coming, okay? What I found to be extremely helpful is I downloaded a free app called Podcast Addict. And what you do with that is you plug into your phone the podcast you want to listen to. You plug it right there into the app, the name of the show, the RSS feed, which you can get on the site. You can get all the RSS feeds for all the different shows. And then when a new one comes up, when a new one is available, it shows up right on your phone. You hit play, and you're off to the races. So I hope this message helps you, and I hope you get as much out of it, and I hope you have fun listening to it.